hold that thought. We need to be having these very intense discussions and plans while we're recording, not recording, while we're streaming Farlands or Bust, or we're going to run out of things to talk about and be like, why didn't we wait to talk about that? For this Farlands or Bust live stream for January 5th, 2023. The first live stream of 2023. We did record an episode already, but we're going to continue the expedition here, as the name of the save is, at 45,264.83 megabytes. This is the start. We are literally just starting. This is the first time we're starting from the spawn area, 00. Who's ready to walk to 12,550,820? Damn. 45 gigs, indeed. Are we ready? Get your woofs ready, and then we will continue this discussion. Woof! There it is. Now we can start. Although I forgot we had some iron smelting, and it's done. All right. Let us break out of the hidey hole. Not get killed by that skeleton, perhaps, would be a grand idea. He's gonna burn to death. He's not gonna burn to death. Let's grab Wolfie. Let's feed Wolfie. Tail isn't looking too hot. There we go. Now let's continue on towards the far lands. We were just talking about how I don't have a calendar. Last year we had the cats of the USS Enterprise calendar, and it was a real treat every first of the month to see what the next Cats of the USS Enterprise image was going to be. And now I don't have a calendar. We also did that the previous year, where we just had Star Trek the Classic Series calendar. I mean, I feel like it has to be Star Trek themed. What the heck did I just pick up? A bone. Based on the precedent, I suppose I should say. It should probably be a Star Trek calendar. A funny one. But it was suggested by somebody, that somebody was me, that maybe we need a Ranwem Parked calendar. And then I was thinking, well, all of the images we use in Ranwem Parked come from Craigslist and Facebook. And not only did we not take those images, but at least Craigslist, I know, has some terms of service, and one of them includes not taking and using content from the website for any commercial purposes. Without permission. Not only that, they're all website images, so they're not print ready. So then it was considered that maybe we just have all of our mistakes. All of the mistakes we've made, we can make a calendar. And there's 3 of us. If you're unfamiliar with the show, there's myself, Cone Dodger, and ZK. And Wolfie just fell. I was thinking each of us would need 4 submissions. And mine would be the Corolla, the SVX, the 280Z, and then either the truck or the hearse. Either the truck or the hearse. I'm thinking the hearse. But the truck or the hearse. Or I can get a twofer. I can get 2 of them in one image, probably. Probably swing that. So we got hung up on Cone. Cone would have the ramp truck. Cone would have the 200SX that he currently has. Is that a spoiler? We haven't recorded a new Ranwem Parked announcing that. Sorry. But then, like, his 240 he had long before Ranwem Parked was even a wee fart in the wind. I don't know if that counts. It could count. But then we were thinking Good's Bug. Maybe it should be Good's Bug. Because that was ran when parked, Cone took it, and then they rally crossed it. So there's got to be some good rally cross images of the bug. And it's being suggested that the brat counts. Brat could count. It's right over there. So is that 4? Or is that only 3? 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe. That's maybe 4. That's a tough one. And then ZK, I don't know. ZK hasn't made that many mistakes. Like active during the Ramwin Parked sequence. The Roadmaster, obviously, is the only one that I can think of. And maybe like his lathe and milling machine. Now that would be hilarious. That would be hilarious. He has a lot of cars, but none that were acquired other than the Roadmaster during the Ranwin Parked era. But I think the lathe and the milling machine would be a fantastic choice. Careful, Wolfie! That would be pretty funny. The only other thing I'm thinking is the donor truck. The pickup truck. That Cone got the donor engine from, or the ramp truck. Would be amusing. He did get the Civic. Yeah, but that's not... I mean, that was like a new car that they bought for the family. We can just expand it to be like the fleet. So yeah, like the Cappuccino, the Roadmaster. I doubt he has any good pictures of that old Corvair that they got rid of, that never ran. It was a ran and parked and never ran again. Maybe the broken screwdriver. Yeah, like the Saab. The Saab was a frequent reference, but never really documented very well. Yeah, that'd be a tough cookie to crack. I mean, we could have like a guest month that could belong to Powers with his ramp truck and Lord knows all the other mistakes that he has. Maybe just he'll just have to arrange everything into one shot. Since he has enabled some of these mistakes. I mean, that's not a bad idea. Other than that, it's a kind of a bad idea in that we would only sell like 8 of them. And it's a little bit late to consider making a calendar for the year 2023. Because it would need to still be designed and created, and it wouldn't, like, print until May. So maybe next year, add it to the list of half-assed imagined projects that will never come to fruition. Fruition! Your uptime counter is counting down. 0 hours, 0 minutes, and negative 6,888. 52 seconds. That's just the countdown till when we reach the farlands. I hacked into Twitch. Oh, okay. Well, that makes more sense. Indeed. What the heck did I want to talk about today? I always feel like I want to talk about stuff. And then when it comes to talking about stuff, I don't talk about stuff. Well, that would have been neat if I got the sun fit directly in that hole. Art. Sleep. In that hole. Ooh. Is this floating? This better be floating. I think it's floating. It looks like a gun shooting a rainbow out of its nozzle. The rainbow gun, you know? You all know what I'm talking about. Remember gun? I don't know why, but I thought about that, like, the other day. I thought about Remember Gun. I, like, specifically thought about that Mindcrack marathon in San Francisco. And the Remember Gun moment. I don't know why. That was just a strange memory that popped into my head. And we laughed, and we laughed. I remember. Ooh, buddy. Ooh, excuse me. Excuse me very much. I thought that was cobblestone. It was gravel. Need boats. Might as well make the beds here while I'm at it. Could talk about cameras. I have a Fujifilm that's coming. Cameras and why is also FedEx terrible? I'll tell you what's terrible. Remember how I traded in my old phone for this new phone? And like then only would have had to pay. And I sent in the phone on December 19th. It is still in transit. It is still in transit. This is post office. It's not allegedly lost. It spent a good week and a half. It spent the Christmas holiday just sitting in Seattle for some reason. I mean, there was the snowstorm, and then there was the snowstorm across the country. But it still has yet to reach its destination, and I'm going to have to start now paying for this phone without the deep discount of trading in my phone. So yeah. I feel that. I feel that. It also took like a week and a half for my Christmas cards to get to my family back in Chicago, which is kind of also insane because it was just postage. But cameras. I don't know that. I don't know anything about cameras right now. Is it like a good camera? like one of these
Kurt Magic.
Kurt Magic, Celeste Rose, another one. First you hit me with the bits, and now you hit me with the tips, and now there's a creeper over there. Top tip and top bits of the day, Celeste Rose, and first resub of the day. Happy New Year to you, my friend. Thank you so much. Celebrating Nissan Aramathonda days, speaking of Ramblin' Parks. Very much appreciated. Helping that get back on its feet. But yeah, I mean, similarly, the girlfriend, I think it was New Year's Eve, was asking me if I had any, like, resolutions or anything. And, like, trying to brainstorm. Not necessarily resolutions. It's a good camera, mirrorless, very good sensors. How much? Can I ask how much it was? Because, like, photography is one of those things that I'm interested in. But I'm always, like, a decade behind on what is good or what was good or how this works. And I know it's not necessarily the equipment that makes the photographer. Is that? No, that's a pig. That was a pink sheep. Ah, you got it used. The body is usually $900. That's not so bad. It is F3, but you have to be... Can somebody who's a sub to exclamation point F3? It's like 5,700 something thousand, 765,878. And that was last March. And we've been doing a lot of walking since then. So thank you for your inquiry. Interesting. Yeah, it's one of those things I don't know. Like, I would like to photograph things. Like, I'm always very disappointed when I go to a car show or a car meet and I bring my Canon T5i and I, like, try to take pictures and then they all turn out like crap. Like, unusable crap because, like, I'm bad at exposure and focus and stuff like that. Just use your smartphone camera. I know, and maybe with this one I can because it has more than one lens.
Now I'll need someone to play with. A trio. Piano, bass, and drums, and a bone for me.
A bone for you, Goofy Dylan. Thank you very much for 41 months. in the sub tub with those Bezos bucks. Sub tub. So yeah, photography was one of the things. I don't know. In review, the girlfriend thought that I did a good job, like, taking care of my health last year. As in, like, going to a doctor multiple times. Getting back on medication. And, like, trying to keep that under control. And I do feel... I feel... I'm still, like, weaning onto the higher medication, and I have had, like, cloudy headaches, but trying to get that right. And then this year, I switched insurances, so hopefully I can find an actual therapist, which is good and fine. But, like, she's also wondering, like, I don't have any hobbies. I don't do anything that brings me joy. So, like, the car thing is all right, but I'm not super duper into the car thing. I certainly have... Oh, okay. I certainly have my limits as far as what I care to do in the garage, as far as, like, fixing cars and stuff like that. I guess I'm more or less... And I've mentioned this before. I'm not into, like, speed, power, or, like, performance, or racing, really. Although I've never tried it for real. I'm more into the idea of cars, the aesthetic, just the driving, I suppose, as an activity. More so than the mechanical, or even, I suppose, the air quotes, the masculine aspect that tends to be pervasive in car culture. I'm definitely not doing astronomy anymore. That's both just kind of interest-based and also just availability-based. It's kind of hard to do astronomy in the Pacific Northwest. What with all the clouds and trees and obstructions to doing so. Have you sold your astronomy gear? No, that's on my list of things to do. That is also a bit of a pain in the butt to probably do. Like, there is a used astronomy gear forum that I've used before to sell one of my other telescopes. Stream is still streaming. No, I've not thought about 3D printing. Recreational CAD. What is that? Is that for if you're 21 or over only? Oh, look, a pre-made elevated hidey hole. Too bad I didn't come over here. That's pretty good. It just needs a torch. It's a little bit low, but that's fine. One of the things I was this isn't me talking, this is Hummus Fraud. One of the things I was thinking about doing with the camera was astral photography. Astral photography! You're gonna photograph people's energies and auras in various planes of existence? Sorry, I know what you mean, astrophotography. But I live close to the beach in a huge city, and nights are cloudy and light polluted. Well, if you live close to a beach, then, like, over the water, it should be plenty dark. And that's, I think, the thing about astrophotography is that you can kind of stretch the image beyond what the eye can see. So you can kind of, you know, via various methods of image stacking and videography and gain and exposure, it's not, it's a limiting factor, but it's one you can overcome with certain objects. Especially if you're just starting off, you're just going to try doing planets and brighter things like that anyway. My aura does not consent to being photographed. But, I mean, that's what I've thought about too, but that is a very slippery, expensive slope to start on. Because, like, there's adapters and things for the cameras and stuff, but then you got to think about, well, then I need a tracking telescope. I need a motorized tracking telescope or alt-az mount. And then I need like a guide scope to guide. And then you need, I think I have. I don't think it's very expensive, but there is like specific astrophotography software for stacking images and atmosphere removal and stuff like that. That could be something. That could be something. But yeah, I don't live in a location to really even try that. I mean, you can get a solar scope and photograph the sun. That would be not easy, but less dependent on nighttime conditions, obviously. You should start your own space exploration company. That seems to be all the rage nowadays. Well, no, what you actually do is that you are already rich beyond compare, and then you just buy another company that somebody else started. And then as part of that contract, you claim that you started the company. That's how it works. And I'm disqualified from the first prerequisite, so I'm out. The one thing that I did mention was music. I was always good at and interested in music, but I never took it anywhere because it was never anything more than like, certainly through like school and stuff. It's like you can't get a job doing that. Says the guy who's currently playing video games for a job. But yeah, I think what the girlfriend was getting at was like just something that I don't want to monetize or anything like that. Just a literal hobby. And I've talked about this before. I'm like, it would be interesting to get some like that is another problem. Music is another slippery, expensive slip and slide to get into. I don't know what kind of music. Like I like the kind like Dan Lasac music. I like the music that is in like the Connor Sherlock games that Connor Sherlock makes, which I suppose is just synthesizer, just MIDI keyboards and stuff like that. Just more like noodling around with noise and sounds and stuff. So I wonder, there must be, I haven't looked, I haven't put any effort into expending this, but there must be just, like, software you know, user interface software that can duplicate without needing the hardware of like mixer boards and panels and Moog this and you know, other expensive company that. And I know even like Ko kind of dabbles in that. He has that like little handheld like chiptune kind of music synthesizer. GarageBand for Apple. Well, don't have Apple, and I also think GarageBand is more of a... Is GarageBand not more of, like, just a mixer software? How long will this stream be? I don't know. I never know. I did say that I do eventually have to make some tortillas. Yeah, I don't like with GarageBand and stuff. You're not creating the music with GarageBand, I don't think. You're mixing audio that already exists. Like, I have Audacity. I have whatever. Adobe? Adobe bought Cool Edit Pro. That was what we were using in college when I was in college, you dang young whippersnappers. Adobe bought that, and now they've like rolled it into Adobe, whatever Adobe's thing is, Audition. Like those are just like sound editors and mixers, wave editors. And like through college, I did dabble in Max MSP, which is what Mr. Randomizer was made in. I don't remember a lick of anything about that. You can totally make music with GarageBand. I like, does GarageBand have like MIDI software too or something? I don't even, honestly, I've never used, I don't know what MIDI is. I just know it's just like a digital notation situation. Like that's what Trombone Champ, all the little squiggly lines are based on a MIDI file for the trombone instrument. Yeah, somebody said Ableton FL Studio. MIDI and raw audio. Right, but you have to like... You have to make the MIDI on an instrument, right? I mean, I suppose you could probably just make them with a keyboard and mouse. It's probably not the easiest thing in the world. See, this is how much I know. Which is to say not much. I mean, it is about how much I know. And the girlfriend made this point. I didn't know anything when I bought the Corolla. I had never even changed my own oil in a car. And now I'm on the second radiator swap. Ableton does magic. But can you photograph the auras? The astral projections. Huh. Yeah, well, I mean, I did not know that about GarageBand, but I'm SOL on that. I don't do Apple. And the girlfriend's Apple is from 2008. Honestly, Capybara, the girlfriend suggested that. Microscope photography? Or she just meant, like, instead of doing, like, far away stuff, landscapes, why not, like, macro photography? Like, I like taking pictures of mushrooms up close. And weird green lichens and whatnot hanging off of trees. I do kind of like that new channel. That's not quite new, but the microcosmos. But like those microscopes are like $14,000, I think. Like to be able to see a tardigrade wriggling around and doing whatever. Another Hank Green production. I've got expensive tastes. All hobbies are expensive. Like even the girlfriend struggles with this. With her skiing. Like she bought some used ski equipment. And got a flat tire and broken rim in the process, thus negating the savings. But now she's getting so good that she needs like something to match her skill. And like skis aren't cheap. And ski passes aren't cheap. And you know, everything is expensive. So yeah, it's a tough, and you and I have talked about this many times in the past. Right, the microcosmos, they do sell a microscope, but not like the microscope that they use. Like you're not gonna see the stuff that they see, and I think it's only optical. Oh. Lots of used microscopes on eBay. Careful, Wolfie. I mean, I guess what I'm saying is microscopes and getting into that is interesting, but is pretty low on my list. My interest in that is very thin. In that I could look at a thing and go, huh, neat. But then, like, there's nowhere to take that. I don't feel like there's a... Maybe there is. Maybe there is a community of microscopists. With discords and forums and conventions. Meetups. Have you considered identifying birds? Never! Take pics of interesting things and post them. Like, just in general? Just like what's on my Instagram? Microscope. Well, that's what I was saying. The most of these $350 whatever microscopes are optical only. There's no without like perhaps some sort of dedicated modification. There's no like camera adapting. The yearly rendition of how to edify Kurt's days. That is honestly the subtitle of my channel. I think it's more than yearly. I think it's at least biannually at this point. Because we tried birds. We tried birds halfway through last year before we gave up on it. Whoa, look at this though. Hold on a minute. Well, that's just too big to fit in the camera. Gotta check that out. Yes, it's semi-annual, just like the sale at Victoria's Secrets. Maybe you need a way to create value from your hobbies. I mean, honestly, that is another thing that maybe made me want to talk about this, is because Cone, one of Cone's, I don't know if it's a resolution or whatever, but like he's streaming on YouTube his car stuff because he thinks it's going to make money or that he's going to be the next Mighty Car Mods or whatever, but to document it. Which I guess is why I'm streaming and YouTubing Farlands or Bust, is to document the whole journey. And not necessarily saying that about my car stuff, but just the idea of, like, especially if the activity itself isn't, like, a driving enough force to make you want to keep doing it. Then make an activity of, like, documenting the activity, if that makes any sense. Ooh, spooky noises. Alright, well this is certainly an interesting cliffside here. Ooh. Kind of difficult. It was so big you can't see it. I got into drawing mid-pandemic, and now it's a hobby of mine that also gets me out and social. How about documenting trying new hobbies, like dabble in a new hobby each month? I was about to say, that gets expensive. Limit each one to $100. Can't do that microscope thing. I mean, that I see that. That's kind of I don't know. That's kind of a plus and minus for me. Like, I could document working on cars and stuff, except that I'm already so slow and easily frustrated by it that adding that other layer of having to stream it or record it or YouTube it or whatever makes me not want to do it even more. and that's just a mental thing for my mental mints. Mental mints. You could read books and then post the audio of you reading books. That was an idea before. That's one of those ideas. Just like the Ranwin Part calendar. That shall be thought of, planned, and then incubated forever, never to hatch, never to come to fruition. I mean, that is still, that's on the list. It's on that other list that never sees the light of day. What about learning a language? That I have some PTSD from. Jeez. Read the book quietly and then post that video. He's picking his nose again. It's Combat Canyon. Honestly, I probably made that intro in Cool Edit Pro with the reverb. All right. We must leave Combat Canyon. Or it is a dead end. Now this could have been a Wolfie Sphinx right here. That's his arm, that's his other arm, and then we just have to create the Wolfie in the middle. Massive. Absolutely gigantic. No, I'm not gonna know. Which thumbnail to use here. I'm not sure Kurt is concerned about how much time that would take. No, I'm not concerned at all because it's clearly not going to happen. So the fun thing about hypothetical musings is that they remain hypothetical. Dang it, Wolfie. Get that pig! No? Oh, he died. And another one took its place. So yeah, I don't know. The music thing I think intrigues me the most because I do feel like I have some sort of, I don't know if I want to call it like natural talent, because I don't have any talent. But aptitude for, an interest in. But I don't personally know anybody who even remotely dabbles in that. I only like tangentially know of people, and yeah, that's a tough one. Other than to just start, which is the hardest part. Ooh. A weighted piano keyboard. A weighted piano keyboard. Why is it weighted? Frisbee golf. Oh, you mean like the keys? The keys have like... Ah, okay, yeah, as opposed to just the plastic Casio. I guess the difference between a mechanical keyboard and the other type that I can't think of right now. Right, you can like push them harder to get a louder, sharper sound, or softer, as opposed to cheap keyboards where no matter how hard you push it, it's the same volume and sound. Yeah, yeah. Not too much. Right. That makes sense. That does make sense. Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of websites. There's a whole bunch of like startups that have their own little plastic mixer, synthesizer, oscillator, this, that, and the other digital music looper maker thingy, distorter. That's at the top of the list. I should sell my telescope. Not because I don't like it or it's not a good telescope. It's just not getting used at all. Careful, Wolfie. Can convert it to MIDI and put it in my DAW. I'll stick that right in your DAW. I'll show you Christmas. Ah. Oh. Guitar Center, they're still around? There was a Guitar Center next to the PetSmart that I had my first job in. I don't know why that's relevant, but that's my experience with Guitar Center. Is it officially PetSmart or PetSmart? I don't know. I only worked there for like 4 months. They didn't reveal those trade secrets to me. Ooh.
Maybe it's not the destination that matters. Maybe it's the journey.
To the journey.
You're here.
To the journey.
Diani has been part of the journey
Diani?
for 70 months.
I thought it was Dione. Is this another Key Sky, Quay Sky situation? Thank you very much for 70 months in the subtub. Much appreciated. Subtub. How was that clip not to the voyage? Because it's the journey. That's a Farlands or Bust clip right there. I ate at Maverick Steakhouse on New Year's Day. Have you had any good food lately? I mean, I made some good pies. Pumpkin pies. The girlfriend made those stuffed cabbages, and I ate them for the last 5 days. Because there were a lot of them, and we probably should have frozen some, but those were pretty good. I haven't been out in a long time. Hell, I'm trying to think the last time we did go out to eat. I genuinely can't remember now. Well, I guess that was October, though. The girlfriend's birthday we went out. Don't remember what I had. I think it was some sort of weird meat. It was like lamb or something. I think it was a chop of some kind. I don't think it was pork. It was good. That was way back in October. Some sort of non-normal, non-beef, pork, or chicken chop. Ghost chop. I mean, well, another hobby the girlfriend suggested was baking. I don't know. I kind of already do that, but as a means of survival for the gluten freeness. How about getting into scrimshaw? Isn't that one of those, like, carriages that are pulled by people? A scrimshaw? A Richard Shaw? What are you talking about? It's decoration of bone / ivory. Well, I tell you the second one is going to be illegal. Like... And then selling them on Etsy. I mean, we got a bunch of bones here. We do have a bunch of skulls. One of the first things I bought for the girlfriend when we were dating was a skull from the famous "Let's go to the swap meet" video on YouTube. I went to a car swap meet and I left with a cow skull and assorted bones. It's up on the mantle. Start a bone collection. Human bones. Real life fossil hunter. Yeah, I don't know that I'm super interested in that. Although I don't know, maybe I should look into like an Etsy hobby. Why not lockpicking? I do have, that was one of the things we tried. I do have a bunch of that lockpicking stuff. I did recently, I have to, because the girlfriend lost a key to a thing, and I was successfully able to lockpick it. So now that's how we open it. Audio NFTs. Get out of here with this garbage. I mean, I would need a like there's, I don't know, you find everything through Instagram, but like somebody makes like rings with like a lathe and makes them out of like weird objects and like materials and like Fordite, which is like the layers of car paint, which is very interesting. But that's ZK's domain. And I definitely don't have anywhere to put any sort of milling or lathing equipment. Make rings out of bones. Make the lathe out of bones. I don't know. I've all, like, speaking of like Etsy and arts and crafts sort of things. I mean, another thing on the list that was brought up was like art, like trying to do an art, like painting or whatever, like the sort of stuff that I never got to try in school because school was all about like learning and the basics. Oh, it's like, is Wolfie still with me? I haven't heard him bark. Rotate a cow in your mind. That's art. Alright, I'm looking for a place to make the hidey hole here. Bone art. I'm pretty sure there's websites for that. Chicken. Oh, have a seat, Wolfie. Isn't a ring out of bones boring? What happened here? Alright. Once again, we've had this semi-annual conversation and have come to no discernible decision, conclusion, or resolution. Considered weaving or textile? No, like that's something I've never done and I'm not really interested in. Make a poll, then you'll be committed to the result. I will be committed that that was the result, but I again won't necessarily take any sort of initiative on making it so. So that was a lot of food for thought. You'll be committed, that's for sure. And then you can rescue all the Datsun. Oh, welding classes. I mean, I've thought about that. I've thought about welding, but I don't have, like, I would need a better garage. I would need to weld myself a bigger garage that could then have that sort of equipment. Beer brewing, yes. Yes, beer brewing. I look, all this beer I brewed. You'll have to tell me how it tastes since I don't drink anymore. I tested. I still think hiking counts as a hobby, but I've not hiked very much either. Hiking has kind of fallen off for me for reasons that slightly upset the girlfriend, because that was advertised on my dating profile. False advertising. But anyway, let's go to sleep. Let's check the world save file and decide what to do next. Next! And... Ooh, we walked a little bit too far. 45,339.74 megabytes is where we're at.